lie down on your back. Separate your feet as wide as your mat. Reach your arms out to the sides and lower your knees to the right. Reach your left knee away from its hip. So reach out through your left knee, firm your left shoulder down into the floor, and arch your back. Now you could stay with this pose or bring the top of your left foot, the front of your left shin to the floor in more of a half recline hero's pose, Arda Supta Virasana, or just stay with this one here. Regardless of which one you do, feel free to, well actually do it. Raise your left elbow above your left shoulder, or reach your left arm over your head. So there's going to be quite a bit of back arch to the pose. Relax, take a few deep breaths. Once you complete your out breath, come out of this side and back to center. Re-square up your hips, drop your knees in to rest on each other, and take a few breaths here. Let the back of your pelvis recede into the floor. And then lower your knees to the left. So let's switch sides now. And again, reach out through your right knee. So reach the right knee towards the short edge of your mat. Firm your right shoulder down. Allow the spine or the back to arch. So looking to create a little bit more opening on the front of your right thigh, a little bit more opening on the front of your right hip, the abdominal region, and sideways, all the way up to the right shoulder. Stay here, or if it's okay to do it, do the half recline hero's pose, Arda Supta Virasana, or a variation on it. Reach your right arm overhead, and truly the arm overhead, it doesn't need it. The elbow just needs to go a little bit higher. It needs to go higher than the shoulder. So if arm overhead just it's not relaxing, then don't go that high. But what it does do is it lengthens the upper side chest a little bit more. And that will create a touch more room that your breath can easily fill into. So as you inhale, expand your right ribs. The front, the side, the back. As well as you inhale, feel how there's this lengthening of your abdominal region that happens naturally. So every exhale, the bottom of your rib cage descends towards the floor, but it also descends towards the top rim of your pelvis. But as you inhale, it does the opposite of that. Lifts up away from the floor. It moves away from your pelvis. Now, as you complete your exhale, release that side. Square up your hips. Rest your knees on each other, your arms by your sides. Take a few breaths, but allow the back of your hips, the pelvis, to descend towards the floor. Almost as if the back of your pelvis is this big, heavy rock or a big weighted item that just likes to go with gravity. All right, now we can do this in a couple different ways. Supported bridge pose. I'm going to do that. So if you have one block, just use one block. If you have two blocks, even better, use two blocks. But put the block underneath the back of your pelvis and your hips onto the item. If you don't want to do a supported bridge, you could definitely do active bridge. You can definitely lift up into what we call bridge pose and just do it more active. Or you could alternate between the two. Feel free to alternate between the two. Or do one round supported, one round bridge active. All right, regardless of which one you're doing, come down and rest. Straighten your legs between, once you get all the way down, just straighten the legs out and relax for a moment. One of the things that's fun to play with or interesting to note when doing these things is the contrast or the difference in energetic qualities between doing a pose one way and doing a pose another way. The slightest changes might have a very dramatic effect on the outcome. So I like to encourage people to try it in many different ways. Go ahead and bend your knees, set up for bridge again. Do the supported bridge or do the active bridge, or do a combo of both the bridges. So whatever tickles your fancy today. Couple focal points though is definitely walk your shoulders in and lift your chest. Push the backs of your arms into the floor to help with the lift of your chest. Lift the back of your pelvis up away from the floor. Just keep lifting it up. Firm the outer buttocks in to help with that. Just so you have a little bit more stretch through the abdominal region. And also send your knees in the direction of your toes. And then go ahead and come all the way down again and rest. Straighten your legs. Do a relaxed or a resting let's say, Shavasana as a resting pose. Okay, slide the soles of your feet together, take your knees apart, and reach your arms overhead. So, Supta Baddha Konasana, or reclined bound angle pose. If you need support for your legs, actually it'd really be support for your hips, but if you want to support your legs for what's going on in your hips, then use something to support your legs, which I think I'll do. There's many different ways you can do it. One of the most common ways of accomplishing that is using blocks underneath your thighs, your outer thighs. Whenever I do the supported poses like this, I will personally aim for only putting my, let's say, the position of my hips, the amount of range of motion available, I'll only go to maybe 65, 70% if I'm going to be there for a little while. As over time, if you have a lot of sensation in the joint to begin with, over time it gets louder and louder. That's been my experience. And if there's a little too much tension, it's harder to release into it. It becomes very challenging to kind of relax around it, as it does seem to intensify with time, the tension, the stress. So I would suggest not going to your edge if you know you're going to be there for some time. Okay. Release your arms down by your sides. Stretch your legs straight. And let's start to set up corpse pose. It would be really nice in this sequence to have some sort of support underneath your knees. So you could use your blocks. If you have a bolster, use a bolster. If you have some blankets or rolled up towels, you can use those as well. Adjust your shoulders so the shoulder blades rest into the floor a little bit more. Adjust your hands far enough away from your hips that's a possibility. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please hit the thumbs up button down below. And if you want to stay up to date with all of the videos I upload to this channel, hit the subscribe button as well as turn on the notification bell so you can stay up to date. If you want to get in touch with me, leave a comment in the comment section down below. I do read all of your comments, and I will sometimes base my video making decisions off of the comments I receive from you guys. So if you have any ideas about things you would like to see on this channel, please leave me a comment there and I'll see what I can do. All right, thanks again.